Are we live? I guess we're live.
No, it says end broadcast.
Yeah, that means we're live.
Oh,
okay, hello. Welcome. It's Paige. You're in the Real Paige kitchen where I love to cook, but am not so technically oriented, but that's okay. I promised that I would come live as part of my fall open house event that I'm having today. I'm so excited about fall weather and sweater weather and fall drinks and of course fall Pampered Chef products and fall cooking. So I was going to showcase a couple of recipes this afternoon. I'm going to do an appetizer demonstration here right now. At 4:30 we'll be back on to do a chicken and gnocchi one-pot meal demonstration. And then later this evening for dessert at 6:30 I'll be making a delicious but very, very simple apple torte. So look for me coming on live if you're joining us virtually. I am having a giveaway as part of my fall open house too. You can scroll through my page later to see a picture of it. It's a 7.5 quart nonstick multi-purpose pot. It is a very valuable Pampered Chef item and I'm so excited to give it away to somebody. So whether you're joining virtual, the people that are joining me live here have already put their name in, but if you're joining us virtual, put your name in the comments and just say enter, and then I'll know to put your name in for the drawing. We'll have the drawing at the end of the event tonight at 7 o'clock. I'll come back on live and do the drawing. So let's get started. Today for the appetizer, I decided to make something that could be very, very useful for the holidays, whether that's Thanksgiving, Christmas. This would be great to take to a party that you're going to make if you're having guests come over, or perfect appetizer for your holiday meal. So it's a cranberry chutney and brie mini pie pocket. We're gonna fold them all up and put them in the oven and they'll just get delicious. I'm cheating, of course. I'm gonna start by using pre-made pie dough. You can, of course, make your own pie dough, but I have found that mine actually never works out very well and it makes a huge mess with flour all over the place. And so I'm just using this for the pie dough. So I'm going to unroll that and just get that at room temperature a little bit so we can work with it. And then I have brie cheese that I'm going to slice up. This is really sticking to itself. This might be not as easy as I thought. What on earth? Well, yeah, like it's stuck, you know, like somebody at the grocery store put something heavy on top of it or something, and it's just this one spot. Pampered, not perfect, here in the Real Paige kitchen. This is why we call it the Real Paige kitchen, because sometimes stuff doesn't go exactly like you want it to go, and that's okay. You improvise. Cooking is an art, and so you just can be creative with how you come up with solutions. This is going to be just fine. That's what I'm telling myself. Anyway, happy fall. I know it's not fall yet, but Pampered Chef products, the fall products drop on September 1st. And so when that happened, I considered it fall. So I've got my fall decorations out. I've been planning some fall cooking soups and stews. And these one-pot meals are so great for fall. Nice hearty dishes. All right. Can you close Javi's door so we don't have to listen to the whole Roblox thing, whatever's going on in there? Okay, well, we have a little bit of a pie round, but I'll be able to get some circles. I'll be able to get something out of that. I'm not concerned. I'm just going to roll it out flat a little bit, and some of those places where it had holes, we'll just seam it up and roll it together. It's not going to stop me. All right, so we'll do this first set. I got brie cheese. This is triple cream brie cheese. Any kind of French brie is fine. The triple cream is nice because it is very soft in the middle, and when it melts, it's all just kind of going to bubble inside these little pies. So I'm going to keep the rind on, and I'm going to just cut it in half. And then from in half, I can cut this in some slices. And the slices I'm going to cut in half. So I have a little piece about that big for inside each pie. I'll set those ends aside. I'll eat that later. Now with my pie dough, and I do have two, and I'll unroll the other one in a minute, I'm going to cut out circles. This is a new tool that's new from Pampered Chef. It's our mini pie and pocket pie maker. So really handy for like making little empanadas or wontons, mini apple pies, little beignet stuffed pies and donuts. So I'm going to use the circle on the bottom as my cutter to cut a circle. See if I can get 4 out of this. And I'll save the rest of the dough for snails. If you don't know what that is, ask me, I'll tell you. That's just for baking. From growing up baking with my mom, we always got to take the leftover dough and roll it up with butter and cinnamon sugar and put it in the oven. And we called them snails. I don't know what you call it. But next thing I'm going to do is make an egg wash. So I'm just going to crack an egg. I'm going to whisk it. Isn't this the cutest thing? This is a mini whisk. We have that little stainless steel mini whisk, which is perfect for when you just have a little dish like this. So I'm just going to whisk an egg. And I'm going to brush just around the edges with my egg wash. I'll do it one at a time, actually, as I'm assembling them, because I don't want it to dry. Now, earlier today, this recipe includes a cranberry chutney, and I made this earlier today so it would be cooled. I heated cranberries with orange juice and chopped apples and let that simmer a little bit until the cranberries started to pop. Then I added half a cup of honey, some dried cranberries, a sprig of rosemary, and a cinnamon stick. And I just let that simmer until it got thick. So that's my chutney that I'm going to use. So I'm going to take one of my rounds and I'm going to put it right in the side of my thing. Actually, I'm going to put my round on here first, the little assemble guy. And I'm going to put the chutney on top of the Brie. And I'm going to give it a pinch. And that's going to seal it for me. And I can put this on my pan. I'm going to bake these on my stone bar pan that I have right here. And we're going to sprinkle it actually with a little bit of coarse salt too before they go in the oven. I have my oven preheated at 375. So we'll just repeat this process. I have the round, and I have the egg wash, piece of Brie, spoonful of chutney, and squeeze it to crimp it shut. I kind of love this thing. Is that too much? You can make all kinds of little pies with this. But pierogies. Yeah, pierogies, little pies. There's a recipe that we have that you take biscuit dough and put it in here. You put chocolate chips in the middle and you bake them, and it's like, it turns out, they call them chocolate beignets, and then you can drizzle chocolate syrup on it. It looks amazing. Can you imagine biting into that crispy little ooey gooey chocolate in the middle thing? If you can't find fresh cranberries yet in the grocery store, that's very seasonal. I did use frozen, and when you thaw them, they're exactly like the fresh. It's amazing how I thought they would be, different. Sometimes frozen fruit ends up being a little bit different. All right, so if you are joining us live, go ahead and just let me know you're here in the comments. Remember, if you want to be entered into the prize, just say enter. I can't really see the comments now because the way I'm broadcasting this to 2 different groups, and so it's a little tricky, but I'll look at it all later and see who all was watching. And there will be the replay too. So if you're watching this as a replay later on one of my pages, go ahead and say hi and just say replay. pinch that. I love this. Uh-oh. Remember where I had a hole in the dough? Yep, there's our hole. I'm going to use a scrap of dough and just kind of patch him up a little bit. It's not going to look pretty, but I think it'll keep the brie and the cranberry stuff in there. And we'll use that as a taster, chef's taster. Yeah, that one looks a little wonky. It happens. All right, I'll cut my dough again for the next 4. See, now this dough is unrolled and looks much better. So we'll cut our 4 circles. This is the first time I've used this little guy and the first time I've made this recipe. So you're experiencing the trial with me. And you know, sometimes we get afraid to try things we haven't done before. And I just always look at it like, what's the worst that could happen? It doesn't work out, you know, and then you just say to your family or your guests, like, no, I tried it, didn't work out. And it's usually edible. It might be wonky. Something might not be perfect, but that's okay. You have to celebrate trying because it's important to try new things. All right, put the dough in, put the brie in, put the cranberry chutney in. Some egg wash on the edges and crimp it closed. Ta-da! Yep, perfect.
Did you have to put anything in the rest?
In this?
Yeah.
No, it's plastic and it's very, very smooth, almost like non-stick.
It looks like it comes out pretty easy.
Yeah, it does come out pretty easy. Now, you know, this is dough with butter in it too, and so it's not too sticky. If you were using maybe a stickier dough, I'd maybe just a little bit of oil and then flour on it maybe, if you found that it was sticking, but I'm not having any problem getting them out. Yeah.
Ann Clark, don't you? Who is Mom? Ann Clark.
Oh, Ann Clark is watching. Pat says hi, Ann Clark. My mom is here. She is a regular in my studio audience here for my cooking. All during COVID, we had Sunday cooking show, and it was nice to get to see family and to eat together. Okay, so 2 more. Then I'm going to brush them all over the top with the egg white and the egg wash. And what that does is it gets it a nice, like, smooth, shiny brown on top. Is the cat escaping? Moo.
Hi.
My cat thought he would go out. He's an indoor cat, so he doesn't know what's out there. I don't need him to find out. These would be good, like with like little meat pies too. Then you could freeze them. Oh, absolutely. And the chutney I made ahead. Obviously, you can make that ahead. These you can make ahead and refrigerate. Like if this were a Thanksgiving dish, you could refrigerate it and then just get it out the next day and then bake them off. You'd put the egg wash on right before baking them. So, because we're always looking for things we can do ahead for like the holiday meals, right? And yeah, you could freeze this too. I don't see why not. I have frozen brie before, and okay. Now I'm just going to give them that egg wash over the top. I like using a silicone brush for my washes. I used to use, like a regular horsehair brush, and I found like whenever I washed it, the hairs would come loose, and then when I'd be brushing with it the next time, I'd get like brush hairs. Yeah, they'll knock if they come. You just have them come in. They don't care. People watching online don't care. It's an event. My home, the Real Page Kitchen. Okay, egg wash, and then a little bit of coarse salt. So I'm going to get my shaker, my grinder. And now you can set, the grinder has a dial on the bottom. You can set it to be finer or you can set it to be coarser. So I'm just going to loosen the grind a little bit so it's just some coarser flakes on there. I just think that melty cheese with that sweet and tart chutney and then the salt, I think it's going to be delicious. So I'm ready to put these guys in the oven. We're going to bake them for, I forgot what the recipe said. I'm going to say about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll take a look at them. And then when I get them out, I'll take a nice picture and I'll post it on this page. In the meantime, people that are here in my home, we're going to probably taste them. So we'll let you know what we think. Thanks for joining us. We'll pop back on here at 4:30 to make our chicken and gnocchi one-pot dinner. It's going to be delicious, and it's a very, very easy recipe, hearty, creamy, just perfect for a nice fall evening for a supper for your family. So, all right. Again, if you want to be in for the prize drawing that I'll be doing at 7 o'clock tonight for the 7.5 quart multi-purpose pot, put your name in the comments and just say enter the drawing, and I'll get your name in the pot for us. So thanks so much. See ya.
So Annie Clark gets put in the.
Yep. It says end broadcast.